quick message from the spirit guides. We're going to drop right into it. So you got to respect yourself. You got to have standards, or else people won't feel that, and people end up treating you the way that you expect them to treat you. It's a subconscious projection phenomena that we all do. So you got to have standards. You got to have some kind of level that you expect of respect, or else people will push into that. We naturally push in to see where the boundaries lie. That's a thing that people do. If you check out a little kid, when they are learning a new environment, they will constantly push to see what can they get away with. Can I do this? Can I push you around? Can I eat this snack? Can I do this thing? Kids are always pushing to see what the limits of the environment are. So, as adults, our subconscious does the same thing. People will naturally push into you. So if you don't have a limit, if you don't have a boundary, if you don't have a standard, you will be trespassed. People will push into your space. You will be violated. So we all have to learn how to have that level of self-respect. And the thing is, people will actually thank you, because once they know where your limits are, they can better act around you to reduce conflict. But if you never express what your limits are, if you never express what your boundaries are, then that conflict, it builds up in bitterness, in resentment, in judgment inside of you and inside of the other person sometimes too. And that's not good for anybody, because we want to have a clear air. We want to have a judgment-free zone. So you got to be able to assert and say exactly what your limits are when the time comes. Of course, you want to set the frame at the beginning and share as many of the things that are important to you, your needs, your expectations. But it's not about that, because boundaries are in the moment. Boundaries are in the moment. So you can't set the frame completely first, because there's going to be some that you change a little bit. You have to be able to say it on the spot. And that's where it can be tricky, because setting your boundary on the spot is maybe something you haven't done in the past. Meaning, when somebody would push in past your boundary, you might have froze. You might have not said something. And so now we are being asked, we are being guided towards actually setting down the boundary, laying the law. What is it that matters to you? Are your needs being met? Are your expectations of self-respect being upheld? Or are you letting that be broken again and again and again to the point that you've lost your self-respect and you don't even like the other person that much anymore? It's time to actually know for ourselves, be able to say it in the moment. So as soon as you feel that feeling where it's like you've been crossed, there's an inner energy feeling where somebody's like kind of pushing into you, you want to be able to assert, hey, this ends now. Or, hey, I'd really appreciate if we could shift this dynamic. Or, I don't have any more energy to put into this. Because the truth is, boundaries without consequences don't do shit. The reason for that is because the subconscious works off of proof, not promises. So it's not just about promising somebody that like, oh, okay, I'll be better. And they tell you like, okay, I'll meet your boundary next time. It's like, you got to say, if this isn't met, I'm going to have to pull out my energy. I'm not going to be able to talk with you. I'm not going to be able to see you as often. I'm not going to be able to see you at all. I'm not going to be able to do this or this thing. Boundaries got to have consequences. And the biggest consequence is the retraction of your energy. Pulling back your energy back to you. That is the biggest, most potent consequence, because subconsciously, when there's a codependent dynamic, the other person is feeding off of your energy. And it's not bad per se. You might be doing the same thing. So when you have a reclamation, when you have an empowerment to set that boundary and call your energy back to yourself, it actually makes you magnetically more powerful. So the other person can actually feel that within you, and they can feel more drawn to meet your boundary of self-respect because you actually cared enough about yourself to call back your power. So it's so powerful to be able to say it in the moment. That's my big takeaway for you. When your boundary is crossed, say it right away. Say it right away. And set a consequence as soon as that feels natural and clear to you. This is important to me. If this is not met, this need, this expectation, this self-respect is not upheld, then I'm going to have to pull back my energy in this or this way. And that way you can be in the vibration of self-respect, and you can have a standard and people will meet it. They'll actually meet you there. So I love you, I care about you, and I'm blessing you with so much good energy. This was a huge message for me. And I think I'm going to start to tap in and tune into more spirit guide messages, because as I noticed, this one was a channeled one. I tend to get better messages when I ask the guides rather than try and create it from my mind. So I love you. I'm out.